Welcome everybody back to Tapped In 209. It's me, it's Drew. We got the full squad here today with K-Mud and Alvin here. How are you guys doing?
I'm looking good. Fantastic.
Good.
I'm doing
We're
good.
good.
Ready to rock and roll. Got a lot of stuff to
Absolutely.
cover.
Yeah,
hmm
we got a great episode up ahead. We got a special guest right at the end of this episode that you guys will see. Kind of just like last week, does have to tie in a little bit with the sophomore quarterback from last week, Elijah Walker. But first, it's going to be kind of our normal schedule. We're going over week 6, and then we'll look ahead to week 7, players of the week, all the fun stuff. So with that, Kama, take us away with T-Cal.
All right. To start it off, we have St. Mary's 53 against Lodi's 0. Jaden Gavon he went 7 for 11. He had 159 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kenny Moore had 4 receptions for 77 yards and 2 touchdowns. And they had 5 sacks defensively. Lincoln 48, Kimball 3. We had Tracy 19 and Edison 38.
Yeah,
And that's it.
pretty fast week. It um
hmm
really
Yeah.
there wasn't really it's not really much to
No
talk about here.
surprises. No
Yeah,
surprises. I think St.
not at
Mary's is
all.
back on track. St. Mary's doing St. Mary's things.
Of
You
course,
know.
Yep.
just they look how they should in
Yeah.
T-Cal week 1 so far.
Yep.
hmm
Yep. So,
Alvin, take us away.
all right.
VOL.
VOL. We had Manteca put a whooping on Sierra, 74-7. Wide receiver
Jeez.
Quinn Martinez, 5 total touchdowns this week. 2 punt return touchdowns, 1 kick return touchdown, and 2 receiving touchdowns. Had 5 receptions for 83 yards. Nico Juarez, I think our player of the week last week, chipped in with 6 carries for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. Antica's defense allows a stifling 23 yards in rushing this game. I, I, I mean, there's a reason why Manteca is our number one team. I mean, they're doing it at both sides of the ball. They are handling business. I think we discussed it. I discussed it off air with someone, and we were talking about where certain teams are going to fall. I mean, if Manteca continues to roll at this pace, I don't see any reason for them not to be the number one seed in Division Two.
Yeah, especially if they
hmm
go into playoffs undefeated. Like it should be a
Yeah,
unanimous
Yeah.
1 seed.
I mean they
hmm
handle business. They've got a couple good games coming up. They still got to play East Union, and then I think they got to play Oakdale.
Yep,
So it's right there. It's like I said, that we still think that Oakdale Manteca game is going to be
the game.
is going to be the game. What
Great
is that
game.
game, Drew? Is that the 31st?
I believe so. I believe it is that
Okay.
week. Let me give you guys that real quick. We can go
Okay.
over the rest.
Just leading into the next game, Mountain House and Patterson. Patterson has lost some very close games. I think Patterson's a good squad. They are 49-13. Patterson, Caden Lozano, 6 for 9, 98 yards, 9 carries, 139 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Jason Pettis, 16 carries for 163 yards. And Hayden Drugsma, 18 tackles,
Oh
two
my
for
gosh.
tackles for loss. Very close to being player of the week, but you'll see
Yeah.
who is player of the week.
Oh,
And it was amazing what this guy did this week.
yeah, it
Any
was.
date on that Manteca game, Drew?
Yeah, 31st. It will be the last
Okay,
week before playoffs.
so literally you got Stag Chavez 30th. You got Manteca Oakdale 31st. You got
St. Mary's
Lincoln St.
Lincoln.
Mary's always, which is always a great game back at I think it's
hmm
at Lincoln this year. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
a lot of good stuff going on. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. For Mountain House in that Mountain House Patterson game, sorry. Aaron Foster, 8 for 11, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns, 10 carries for 40 yards as well. Callahan Healy, 6 receptions, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. And we had Central Catholic who was on a bye this week. So,
Yeah, again, another week where it wasn't really, or a couple of games that wasn't really surprises at all.
mhm,
Mhm.
yes.
SJ2A. Stag takes down Bear Creek on the road 43-15. It was pretty much a Darnell Holmes show. 16 carries, 163, 2 touchdowns on the ground, as well as 1 through the air. Western Ranch puts up 0 at home against McNair, who put up 45. And kind of the same thing for West. They put up a 0 at home against a very, very, very good Chavez team, who put up 63. Another absolutely amazing Elijah Walker game. He went 18 for 31, 324 and 4 touchdowns. As well as Joel Donnell, 8 carries, 180, and 3 touchdowns. McConnell Smith, 2 catches, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I had to sprinkle in a little bit of Jackson Batch in there, 6 catches, 120. Franklin also gets skunked at home. They lose 40-0 against Tokay. And with that, we're already moving into the game of the week last week. Alvin, go ahead. Take us away.
All right, so this game that I watched, it was pretty much run offense versus pass offense. EU would run trips right, 4 receiver sets, try to spread the field. Where Oakdale is just pound it out, get in your mouth football, right? Like they come up to the line, they break the huddle, center comes out first, right? Break the huddle, boom, everyone's on the line within 2 seconds. And they are bunched in together, and you don't know who is getting the ball. You have no idea because there's so many moving parts in this offense. I will tell you the game started out, kickoff goes to, I'm drawing a blank, give me 1 second here. Kickoff goes to Ricardo Flores. He fumbles on the 5-yard line, opening kickoff. Ishini gets the ball, they score. I will tell you the mark of a great player is what you do after you make a mistake. And what this kid did following that mistake, anyone else probably would have gone to the sideline and hung their head. It's probably one of the better. Had it not been for what West did that game, he would have got my player of the game and player of the week just because of what he did after that. He literally had 11 carries for 144 yards and 3 touchdowns out of the wide receiver spot where they don't even throw the ball. They threw the ball, I think, in the first half 4 times.
Yeah, I think all game, I think I counted 5 or 6. I think that's what it was.
But he was a wide receiver who carried that, and it was end arounds. It was jet sweeps. It was just when you think Wes is getting the ball, here comes Flores, the pitch to him or the handoff to him, and he's gone off the sideline. And it, like I said, after the opening kickoff fumble, he picked himself up and did what he had to do. So, hats off to Mr. Flores, way to hang in there and get it going.
Yeah. And so just to bit off of that real quick, you talked about it a little bit. Wes, that's our player of the week, and he absolutely deserved it. 30 carries, 423 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Unreal.
Oh my.
That's 14 yards per carry. As well on the defensive side, 7 tackles, 2 TFLs.
I will tell you, so I watched the game online, and Wes and Chase Lopez, the other running back, look very similar to each other, on the field. So I during the game, they didn't have an audio feed, so I couldn't hear who would score the touchdown. So next morning, I wake up, I go to Max Preps, and I check the stat line, and I'm like, there's no way this is right. But I don't ever underestimate Wes anymore. I will not.
No.
And I see the stat line. I immediately message him. I'm like, hey, good morning. Just checking the stat line. Is this correct? And he's like, yes, sir. I said, fantastic. I was, and like I said, it's just, he's being humble, but at the same time, 7 touchdowns, 423 yards. And it wasn't a low scoring affair. I think when I was texting you during the game, it was 7-7, and you would reply back. I'm like, oh nope, it's 14-7. Nope. And
all right, just Drew, right there, boom.
Drew literally says this is going to be a 100-point combined game, and the score was what 71-55.
Yeah. I remember you were texting me, and You're like, oh, it's 14-14. It's been 5 minutes. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this can be 100 points. And as I'm typing that, oh, touchdown 21-14. I'm like, let's change that to 120 points. And
Yeah.
sure enough,
Mhm.
Carson, you wouldn't say, I mean, East
I,
Union was not any slouches on the offensive
mm-mm.
end either. What you want to tell us what they did
Yeah.
offensively?
Kirk Simone, he went 32 for 49, 375 passing yards, and 6 touchdowns. And on the for the receiving side, that Jackson Fay, he caught 13 of those passes for 216 yards and 5 touchdowns.
He's the
This,
UC Davis guy. Is he
I
going to
believe so.
UC?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay,
He
yeah,
yeah, we don't want to knock anything from the EU side. Like they put up
No.
the fight that we expected from them.
yeah,
Like
Mhm.
it was a fireworks all the way through this entire game. I mean, you can see it
Yep.
in the stats. He had to throw the ball 50 times for them to be in
yeah.
this game.
Right. And
And that's
there was
just what
no
they do.
Man.
shortage
It's
of that.
just what EU does. And that's like this is the game that we expected all year.
Mhm.
And I cannot wait.
Such a great atmosphere at
Mm-hmm.
Oakdale. The band is going, the cheerleaders are there, the drill team. It was the whole package watching it. It was homecoming for Oakdale.
Oh,
And
makes it
I
even
think
better.
Wes is homecoming king as well. So, all the pieces were
Oh
in
my God.
place. Homecoming king scored 7
Cherry on top
touchdowns,
right there.
right? So did get any better for our boy, that night. So,
Yeah, that's amazing.
congratulations, Oakdale, on game of the week.
Huge win. I can't wait to see both of these teams play against Manteca.
Yeah,
I believe it's 2
Mhm.
weeks, not this week, but the week after will be EU Manteca. And then 2 weeks after that will be Oakdale Manteca.
yep,
So
yep.
gonna be a lot of fireworks coming out of the VOL.
Good high school football
Yep.
coming up in
Yeah.
our area.
And so with that, we already talked about our John's Player of the Week. You're gonna hear a word from John's right now.
All right. Today's episode is brought to you by John's Deli, the go-to spot for incredible Italian sandwiches and comfort food. We're talking fresh baked bread, premium meats and cheeses, and bold flavors that hit the spot every single time. Whether you're stopping by for a quick lunch, grabbing dinner for the family, or having your event catered for game day, John's has got you covered. Don't settle for ordinary. Elevate your meal with John's Deli, where every bite is made with care. Swing by and taste the difference. John's Deli is located at 2112 Pacific Avenue in Stockton, California.
Yeah. With that, we
Mhm.
look ahead to week 7. We'll go straight to the VOL.
All right, VOL, we got the Buffaloes of Manteca, 6-0, cruising into Mountain House, who was 2-5. Last year, Manteca beat them 56-0. I look for more of the same this year. Let's see, Oakdale 5-1 will play Patterson 2-5. I think this game will be a little closer than last year's, which was 56-40. I think Patterson has something to prove. Like I said, they've lost a close one, so I think this game will be a lot closer this year.
Yeah, Patterson's lost a lot of close ones this year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just cannot get over the hump in these close games.
We've got Central Catholic playing East Union. East Union 6-1, 2-1 in league. Last year, Central Catholic won 49-14. Unfortunately, I think East Union is going to win this game.
Yeah.
East Union is very high powered. Both teams throw the ball a lot, so this should be a pretty good.
Yep.
We got the UC Davis commit for East Union, and the Fresno State commit wide receiver. I cannot think of his name right now.
Chase Perino.
Chase Perino, yep, for Central Catholic. So should be a good matchup. Sierra, the Timberwolves are on a bye this week.
Yeah.
And with that, we will go to the TCal.
Straight to the TCal.
For first game, we have the 1-5 Lodi going against the 2-4 Tracy. Last year, it was a 36-26 win for Lodi. The next game, we have the 3-3 Edison going against the 3-3 Lincoln. It was a 17-7 win for Edison last year. Our next
This
and final. Oh,
This game is at Lincoln or at Edison? I think
It will be
I'll have
at
to
Lincoln.
check that.
it'll be at Lincoln. I think it's going to be a close one.
It will be. We will
I
talk
think-
about that game here in just
Yeah.
a second.
Okay.
We'll finish up
Yeah.
with TCal and then we will get to it.
Yep. And for our final game, we have the 3-3 Kimball and the 4-2 St. Mary's. Last year's a 48-14 win for St. Mary's, and I believe this is the homecoming game for
Yeah.
St. Mary's.
So interesting article I read today in Stockton Record. Kimball had to forfeit their previous three wins. I think they were non-league wins due to having players who were ineligible on the team playing. They the paperwork wasn't filed correctly. They were students at the school, but all the paperwork hadn't gone it through. So I
Mm.
imagine maybe it was the paperwork hadn't been it wasn't filed correctly, but maybe they were supposed to sit out their they have a 30
Mm-hmm.
day sit if there were transfers. More than
Mm-hmm.
likely they were
Yeah.
transfers. I did see the article, but they had forfeited all three of their wins. So
Okay.
essentially, I mean, they were probably going to be playoff eligible.
I believe so, yeah.
If they would
Mm.
have got three more wins in their conference, but I think now they are not playoff eligible.
Okay.
So that's a little tidbit I found out today.
Yeah, we will leave that there. We
Mm.
don't want to, speculate anymore until we have
This
Yeah.
is
all the
yes,
information that we have.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So with that, we're gonna move to the SJ2A, and it's literally gonna be one game this week. Bear Creek, who's 1-5, taking on River Valley on the road, who's 1-6.
Let's go
Literally,
Bruins. Got to let's get it together.
yeah. But literally every other SJ2A team is on a bye this week. Every team has needed much needed rest for all of them. So everyone gets 2 weeks besides Bear Creek to go ahead and look at their next league opponent. Before we hit game of the week, we talked about it just for a second. Let's go ahead and hear from Coop.
All right,
Mhm.
every rep, every play, every moment, your hard work deserves to be remembered, and that's where Cooper Flick's photography comes in. From intense game day action shots to cinematic highlight videos, Cooper captures the drive, the hustle, and the story behind every athlete. Whether you're chasing college recruitment, building your brand, or just want to showcase your journey, Cooper Flicks makes you look like a pro. Book your session today at Instagram at Cooper Flicks Photography and turn your moments into highlights. Cooper Flicks Photography can be found on Instagram at cooper.flicks, two S's. All
Yeah,
right.
and with that, it's game of the week. It's going to be a 3-3 Edison going on the road to a 3-3 Lincoln, both 1-0 in league. Like we said, it was a 17-7 win for Edison last year. But let's gonna do a quick QB comparison. Julian Perez, he's right around the 300 mark in the nation for QB
Mm.
passing yards at 1,500. Puts
Jeez.
them just outside the top 50 with those as well. Taking a look over at Devin, only 1,250 passing yards, which puts them at 114 in California. So it's going to be a
Mm.
QB battle. You're going to see a lot of throws this game. It's going to be electric. Lincoln always brings it, especially for, an in-city rivalry. Lincoln brings the energy.
Who do you think? Who do you think is going to win this game, Drew?
It's hard to say because I think Edison will squeak this one out.
Okay, that was
Yes,
my thoughts
yes,
as
they're
well.
even records, but I think Edison's losses are better than Lincoln's losses.
Okay,
Yeah.
my thought process as
Mhm.
well. All right.
So it's going to be exciting. If you guys don't have a game for a lot of, the SJ2A schools, go ahead and check out that one. That's going to be electric at Lincoln. And so with that, we're going to move right into our top five and then get you over to the interview. A little bit of a shorter Shrew episode today, because we had a little bit of a longer interview. With that, Karsten, take us away with number 5.
The number 5 spot, we have Stag.
Yep.
Holding steady.
Holding
Hmm.
steady. They've just been winning. I believe they are only one loss this year.
Yeah.
So they've been steady all year. Number 4 will be East Union. They dropped down from the 2 spots after their loss to Oakdale.
Hmm.
But we didn't see it was still a great, very competitive game, and they definitely did not need to be dropped out of the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alvin takes 3.
Number 3, we have Oakdale. Felt like Oakdale deserved to be moved up after that win. Um, they're doing what they do.
Yeah,
It's
they were.
Oakdale football.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were in the 4th spot for the last couple of weeks. And so you beat someone ahead of you, you're going to move up. Just how it works. The last 2 spots are 2 undefeated teams. Carson, take us away with 2.
Yep. We have number 2. We have Chavez.
Yeah, I mean
Yes.
they're undefeated. Like I
Hmm.
said, they've been rolling. Um, really, I mean they move up from the 3 spot just because of an EU loss. But they've been rolling so far this year. And
Yeah.
with that in the 1 spot, it will be Manteca. They've been there for I believe 2 weeks now,
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
and continue to just dominate. I mean, 74-7 win last week against a league
Yeah.
opponent. So that's kind of
Right.
it. That's all we
Yeah.
got for our regular show.
Hmm.
We're going to go ahead and send you over to what you've been waiting for, Chavez head coach, Coach Graves. Welcome, everybody. Yes, we do have special guest, the Chavez coach, Coach Derek Graves. How are we doing so
Doing great,
far?
man. Appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. We very thankful that you are able to come on to the show. We greatly appreciative. Yes, and we did just have, your star quarterback Elijah Walker on just last week. So, you guys have been tearing it up this year. You guys are 7-0, 4-0 so far in league. And on our rankings, you are top of your guys' league right now. I know Max Preps is a little bit different. They do their own calculations and stuff, but for us, you're on top of league. You guys are killing it this year, and greatly improved from last year as well. You guys had a great year last year, so it's glad to see that you guys are doing well. Anything you want to, talk about this year that makes this year, really special?
Man, it's just continuing what we did last year. We haven't lost a game since November, so that's always a good thing. We played against some really good programs this year. Obviously, Pacheco is a game that we had a 2-year contract with, and they're competitive, in their own right, and it was a good game for us just to get in the groove of things and playing against a storied program like Escalon and Franklin,
Hmm.
who's had some quality wins as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was. Go ahead, Alvin.
That was a great game. I mean, that Franklin L. Grove game, and they're not, they're not someone to be taken lightly because I think they went to Edison and beat Edison this year, and
Yeah, they did.
you guys went to their house and beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they followed up by beating Elk Grove High, they haven't beat them in 15 years.
Yeah.
14,
Yeah.
15 years. So they're a good program, and we got to play them again. So I know they're gonna want their get back. So I'm looking forward.
Yeah, I did. I really do like your guys' right but pre-league schedule. Like those are 3 really competitive teams, and like they're always really good in their respective divisions and everything like that. Like I really love that Escalon game. I loved watching that game. They have a great defense every year. And you guys were able to, pick that defense apart, put up 37.
Yeah, no, man, it started off a little rocky, and one thing about us, our kids even realize it well, especially a lot of them being year 2 guys with us. We just adjust as the game goes. We don't never get too high, get too low. Sometimes emotions do run high, but they have been really composed lately. So I'm really proud of the group.
Perfect.
Speaking about year 2, let's talk about Elijah. He's a sophomore. He's a starter last year as a freshman. This year, I think through 7 games, he's thrown 1,991 yards, 25 touchdowns. Compared to last year, he had 2,007 yards throughout the whole year and threw for 32 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. So he's well ahead of pace to just shatter what he did last year. Um, I know your team is very well rounded. You got Jackson Batch and Joel Donnell. Like you got a 3-headed monster there. So it's not just
Mm-hmm.
the Elijah show. You guys are doing it on all aspects. And I actually like what you guys are doing on your Instagram page as well. You're giving the shout out to the offensive linemen
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah,
defensive guys, man. I dig that. I think that's
yeah.
great. Those
Mm-hmm.
guys don't get the respect that they deserve, and I really like what you guys are doing. Your social media stuff is really good.
No, I appreciate it, man. And the whole thing is, we just want to give everybody love. All these kids work
Mm-hmm.
really hard. They're really deserving of everything. Of course, some kids are going to stand out more because they stood out before they got to our programs. Elijah's been a kid who's been a big name in the football world of Stockton and Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
About 9 or 10 years old, maybe even 8. He's really skilled, and we got a lot of other good players. You mentioned Jackson, you mentioned Joel. But we also got players who do little things right. We got a Arthur Fernandez, we got a Lamonte Barlow, we got a Vernon Hall who's a lineman, Demarion McDonald who's a DN, our DNs, him and JoJo, one of our offensive linemen, and Clark who really stepped up in that Escalon game, and our DNs are the reason, in my opinion, we won that game. The
Yeah.
offense got the
Yeah.
big names and all that, but in order to stop Oakdale and Escalon, you got a really strong DM play, and it has to be coached
Yep.
up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's little things around here, and we always try to admire that. That's what, our saying, lifers.
Mm-hmm.
The L in lifers is all about little things.
Yeah,
So
real quick, we do try, we try and get your defense out there and your special guys, but we only get what the stats tell us unless we watch
No,
the
yeah, and
game,
that's how
right?
it is. Yeah,
And so it's so hard.
yeah.
And I
But
want
that's
to
my
make
job
sure
to tell
that
you guys. I'm telling
exactly,
you guys.
yes.
exactly. Yep.
And look,
And
we also
we
got a
do it.
Curtis Mayfield who's doing awesome. But Connor Smith, who's an Iron
Yep.
Man of our team, playing on
Mm-hmm.
both sides of the ball, second leading receiver, starting 2-year starter at safety. We
Yeah.
got dogs, man. We
Yeah,
got.
you guys do. You guys
So
absolutely do.
tell us a little bit about Lifers. I've read some things about it. I know that's your Instagram site. I know
Mm,
it's an acronym for something.
yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about it?
No, most definitely, man. So Lifers is the same. Me and my brother, my assistant head coach, came up with. We're sitting in a coffee shop and just, trying to think, and on this new journey of being 0-10. Coach Graves coming off of leaving Kimball High School, coming back home, going to a broken program. You just left a team that you took to the semifinals back-to-back years. What are
Mm.
we gonna do? Okay, it can't just be, hey, we're just gonna play football, and it's never is that. It's we got to be bigger. So we just sitting there for hours drinking coffee, talking. He said, "What about Lifers?" And I was like, what does that mean? Like, okay, like what are we talking about? What does this mean? He was just broke it down to me. And the L stands for little things, right? Lifers, L. L stands for little things. The I stands for intensity. The F stands for family. The E stands for effort and education, whichever one you want. The
Okay.
R is response, and the S is success. So, we always try to drop a little jewel, and like, hey, we got to focus on the little things. What's the little thing? Hey, picking up the trash when we leave the field. What's the little thing? Make sure we put the water bottles back. We got to do a better job at that too.
Hmm.
But intensity, are we going to be intense in practice? We're going to goof off, right? So we try to create that environment, and just with all those things, reflecting on everyday messages. Even if the kids don't know what we're saying, we're putting emphasis on the life we're saying, but we might drop it here and there on a daily basis. Response is the biggest one for me. Of course, education, effort. And as long as we're taking care of our education, giving effort, and how we respond in adversity, in which we have a lot of times this year, is the
Yeah.
reason why we're successful, right? Being down, I think 9 points, with 7 minutes left for Escalon, we have a choice how we're going to respond. Are we going to wrap it up, or are we going to go win the game?
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. So you got a little bit into your coaching with Kimball. Do you want to, even before coaching, anything like that, like just kind of being you, getting to your point, what does that look like to you?
As far as like my whole coaching journey, or just in general?
Yeah, like, college, high school, any of that. How'd you get into coaching?
Yeah, no, I was really blessed, man. I played it, my first junior. I went to two junior colleges, first 2 years. Red shirted, then a medical red shirt. I was at Butte College, great staff up there. Had a lot of knowledge up there. Was a part of a national championship program. Came back home to Delta, where I played my last year. Got a full ride scholarship to Idaho State. Played there.
Ah,
Got a record, a couple Big Sky records, a couple school records. Was part of some, played with some really good players. With a Josh Hill, who played 9 years in the league, and all-time leading receiver Roderick Rumble, and we threw the ball a lot. So my background is passing the ball. Played my last year at School of Mines with head coach Stacy Collins, who is now at the assistant head coach at Boise State. Coach,
mm,
offensive coordinator, who is he works with the special teams at Oregon as an assistant, and had a lot of good names. Gary Hyman, who did a lot of years special teams coordinating for Texas A&M when they had that run with Johnny Manziel and all them, and
Mm-hmm.
at Delta. But my first job, my first opportunity, I was, my receiver coach, Frank Borba, who is the offensive coordinator or head coach at Merced Junior College right now. He had got the offensive coordinating job at Redwood College. And I was like, hey, I'm still playing, but I got signed with an arena team, and our season was
yeah.
spring. So I'm pretty much free from normal football season right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an interview with him, and he said, the job is yours. The receiver position at Delta College opened up, where I played it with Coach Gary Barlow. And then I interviewed with him.
Mm,
Hey, this is what I'm gonna do right now. Blah blah. He said, call me an hour later. He said, hey, the job is yours. And that was pretty. I really think for me and my growth and development, that was the best thing that ever happened for me. A lot of coaches in the area, and I'm not saying it's no knock on anybody, but for me personally, it was good that I didn't go straight to high school. I was 23 years old, the youngest coach on the staff, and I was coaching with men. You get what I'm
mm,
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of
Absolutely.
advanced me maturity wise. I had to grow up quick. With
Mm-hmm.
Barlow, it's pretty much like an uncle to me. My kids love him, my wife loves him, my family loves him. We're real close. I could talk to him about anything. So, he has a really, if you played for him and you coach with him, he has a disciplined program, and accountability is real big on him. So, got to think I'm 23 and a lot, so you know how junior college works. Sometimes you could play with somebody or they could sit out 2 or 3 years and they could graduate with you or '09,
Yeah.
one. So one of the big things I remember, there was like D Graves, call me D Graves. Came to the side, he said, "Hey, that stops right now. You're gonna be Coach Graves or D Graves. You can't do both." So just that's the kind of things I had to learn early on. I had a great team,
Hmm.
so that kind of me started there. I did a couple years I did my first year at Delta and got a job in the Bay Area, so I couldn't do any more junior college stuff because of the timing, commitment. So I got into the high school ranks. Coached at McNair High School that next year. Terry Hampton was the head coach. Latif Green
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
coordinator. I was a receiver coach, so just the Bear Creek head coach and Lincoln head coach were all together. Um, broke a state record with Darion Grimm, Latif's son, and broke a national record or California record, multiple receiving yards and all that. After that, went to Chavez for a year. With that's when Latif got his next opportunity at Chavez High, and then after that, he departed for coaching for a little bit, and I was at Stag the next 3 years. And then after my 3 years with Coach Don Norton at Stag High School, got back into Delta College for another 2 or 3 years, and then got an opportunity to be the head coach at Kimball High School. My guy David Doyle, the principal over there, gave me a call. He was looking for some new blood after the coach left Kimball. Reached out to me, and I'm glad he's seen that in me. So shout out to David Doyle, seeing it. I was thinking I'm head, offensive coordinator, maybe a receiver coach or whatever, but he was like, "No, you're the head coach." I'm like, "What, me?" Trust me, you're a head coach. You're a leader. I'm like, I know I'm a leader, but a head coach, and you're the head coach. I'm like, all right. So I really appreciate him seeing something in me that I never had plans for myself. And I think he helped a lot of people with his decision.
That's
Great.
nice. Yeah, yeah,
Good
yeah.
to hear.
That's
Good to hear.
amazing.
Um, Speaking of, you came over to Chavez last year, right? That was your first year at Chavez. How do you describe the culture that you're building there? I think Elijah touched on it a little bit during our interview with them, but he loves what you got going on there, and we're hearing nothing but great things. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
working out. You haven't lost a, a league game, yet. So,
Yeah. No, it's we try to create a work culture, a family culture. It's never going to be perfect, man. We do our best to do it, man. We do it with so many personalities across the board. Luckily, we have a strong staff and a very supportive staff, and um, players who do buy in, players who do buy in. So we push these guys. Like I said, the intensity word is real. I remember watching his interview. He said Mental Mondays, right? And Mental
mm,
Monday,
Mm-hmm.
day a little hot because we practiced a little earlier today because school was out. But Mental Mondays is pretty interesting if you guys ever have an opportunity to come out there. It's like we try to push the kids to do the hardest thing in the beginning of the week.
yeah,
Hey, after your warm up, we're gonna push you to do the hardest thing. So just that mental thing is like, damn, we already did the hardest thing. It's harder than the game, damn near mentally.
yeah,
So we just try to get our kids mentally focused right away and overcome challenges. The first thing that we're gonna do. We're also lifting in season and not just lifting to maintain. Guys are getting stronger. I mentioned
yeah.
Demar McDonald. His bitch just went from 225 to 265 in a 4 week.
Woo!
Wow. That's
Wow.
amazing.
Everybody else, and he's one that stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
Vernon Hall and Jordan Jimenez are two of our linemen. Their deadlifts went up 100 pounds, 95 pounds for one and 105 for the other one. And everybody's having anywhere from 10-pound jumps to 60-pound jumps to 100, like, bench press, squats. Everybody's getting stronger. Um,
Yeah.
but like I said,
Yeah.
that work culture is really
Mhm.
good for us right now, and it's intense. So
Yeah.
we try to do team bonding as much as we can, but we try to squeeze as much in with film and this and this. Sometimes it could be a lot, but they respond really well. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, you talk about, people that or a lot of the kids that you on your team that you guys buy in is they're your lifers, right? Everybody's buying into it. You're talking about it just about every day. Any other values that you try and instill on the players, even off the field?
Yeah, no, I mean we
You
have a
talk
lot of
about. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Most of the life we're saying is off the field things. Like, I always tell the kids, football is a life game. You're gonna learn the most life lessons through football, more than any other sport, right? More than any other sport. And I could go on and on about that. But I always talk to them just about integrity, being a good person. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Who are you when nobody's watching? What is your character like? Because just like even how you conduct yourself at school, people are gonna remember the people who are mean to them. People are gonna remember
Hmm.
who gave them a hard time. And just doing the right thing, man. That's really what I talk to them about is just being good human beings.
Absolutely.
Good, good. All right. What do you feel like has been the biggest challenge this year, with your team?
I would say, man, just dealing with a lot of different personalities. You know, we got a lot of different personalities, which is an awesome thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Hmm.
For me, is like trying to mesh all these personalities, and it's not. I'm not gonna say mesh because we mesh well, but just dealing with the personalities, right? We got, the beautiful thing about Stockton, we're one of the most diverse cities per capita in America.
Hmm.
Yep.
So we deal with a lot of diversity. We deal, but the diversity is not an issue. It's just personalities, man. And,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you know, we're getting confident and we're winning games, and kids just have great personalities and out loud in general. So it's just making sure we turn it on and off at the right time. But I'd rather have a lot of energy than no energy. So I'm happy about that.
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
Good.
I know Elijah last week talked about like him and Jackson are kind, they spend, I believe he said like Fridays or something like that before the game. They're going over film
Yeah,
last second,
Wednesday or Thursday nights. I think it's
Wednesday or
Thursday.
Thursday nights, something
I
like
think
that.
Thursday
Yeah.
nights when we got our early practice. I'm pretty sure it's Thursdays.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other position groups that are kind of doing that or together, or is that more like a just their own thing? So you see how I mean, their stats together have been through the roof this year. He talked about it. He's going for batch whenever it's a prime time and they need a completion. Is your O line doing that together? Like we're going over our pass blocking schemes together, anything like that?
Yeah, well, like I said, our schedule is really rigorous and it's really
Hmm.
demanding, and but it's all within the limits of what we're able to do. We get out of school at 3:27. We're watching
Right.
film or lifting by 3:45, right? So, we're lifting 4 to 5, well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're lifting 5 days a week, but everybody's not
Ooh.
every day. So Monday
Yeah.
we'll watch it. We're lifting, and we watch film. It's a shorter day, review, install, stuff like that. Tuesday, it's an offensive day majority of the time. We still do defense, but so the defensive guys are lifting. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see.
With
I see what you're
rotating.
saying. Yep.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
we're doing our film. Wednesday, vice versa. The defensive guys are in there, offense is lifting. Thursday, everybody's lifting. It's an early day. We're all lifting. We're lifting.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Culture is everything. We're lifting the day before the game. I wasn't a fan of it. Well, why are we lifting before the game? My coach is like, man, we're trying to build culture here, coach.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, I'm not used to this, but I love it. And the kids aren't complaining and they're not sore because they're prepped for it. And then Saturday mornings after a long game, and they were waking up at 9:30 and lifting and watching film.
Yep.
So it levels out to everybody lifting 3 to 4 days a week.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good to hear. Next question. How do you, well, you haven't experienced it this year. But I was going to ask, how do you keep them level-headed after a loss? Or in your case, how do you keep them level-headed after stringing together all these wins? Like, hey, you got to be humble, right? Like,
Mhm.
you can't get ahead of yourself, but I guess that's the question I'm asking.
I think accountability. So after the Rodriguez game, it was a playoff loss. It was a little different. It was a thriller and double overtime. So it was more about loving on the kids right there. You don't
Hmm.
give up after a loss in the playoffs where we don't have a game next week. But going back to the first two games, it was like, hey, we got to stay together. The outside world, we're going to hear enough of this from the world, from social media, from family, from friends. We got to stay as a unit, right?
Yeah.
And then accountability on my end, like, hey, I messed this one up, or hey, we got to do better as a staff. It's just that accountability, and also film. Especially now we're winning, right? And oh man, it's fun. But hey, we're gonna turn on this film on Saturday, and we're gonna
We
we're
gonna
winning.
see.
Well,
We
hey,
gonna see who messed up.
We might be feeling like high, but I gotta bring you
Uh-huh.
back down to
Hmm.
reality. I want you to
yeah.
feel those high moments because you deserve to, but we got to stay humble in
Hmm.
our approach, and we do a good job of staying humble. We don't. Our players, they really buy in. Like a lot of people do the social media talking and all that, but they kind of. I really appreciate them, just following my lead. And hey, we're not gonna say nothing before the game. Like
Right.
we're not gonna do no trash talking. That's not who we are, right? We'll say whatever we got to say after though. Okay,
Yeah.
Yes,
we're
sir.
not gonna
Yeah.
overdo it. We're just gonna have our 24 hours to say what we got to say and
Hmm.
go on.
Yep. I get it. I do want to applaud you guys because it's hard. Like you see even teams in the NFL, they fall into this trap game where like, hey, we're essentially looking 2 weeks ahead because I feel like we can run through these teams. And you guys hasn't looked like that once. You guys have just put your head down, gone after it week after week. I do want to applaud. There's no, hasn't been a scare game.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been a scare game. It was a lack of
Mm.
focus game versus an opponent this year, just
Hmm.
because we handled business versus them the year before, and we kind of went in real lackadaisic. Just the game. The practice was good, but attention to detail, we kind of let off the gas a little bit on both sides of the ball. So that was a good wake up game for us.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's good. You mentioned them a little bit earlier on guys like, really stepping up in the weight room and guys that we don't see on the field. Any guys that have like really stepped up this year, surprise, maybe filled a role, someone gets hurt, anything like that?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say a couple names, man. Eugene Yarborough, he's a guy that had some challenges early on in the summertime and earlier this year, and he has turned into a great leader for us, man. He's a phenomenal young man. He's always been one, just going through some growing pains early on, but he's a really selfless kind of player. He plays everything for us. He plays our sniffer, he plays our tight end, he plays running back, he plays linebacker. And he stepped up vocally this year too. In the last few weeks, the last month and a half, 2 months.
Hmm.
He's a guy who's just like one of those guys like a McConnell Smith that, hey, I'm just gonna put it wherever you put me. I don't care about my stats. I don't care about this. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
ball out up the team. You got a guy like Burrito who's a kicker for us. He's had injuries back years. His name is Isaac Tapia, but
I heard this. There was a story behind his nickname. I read it somewhere, right?
yeah. No, the family nickname. His dad cooks for the Junior Titans
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
organization, and then him and his brother call one of the brothers tacos, one of the brothers burrito.
Ah, okay.
But Burrito is a one of those guys just doesn't complain. Just okay, if I gotta play linebacker, do it. I don't care about how many carries I'm getting. So that's really our culture too. Is a selfless culture. Always say, hey, we got to be self, and then they'll say Liz, not self, and they'll say ish. So really, just but guys like a Yarborough, they're just hey, whatever I got to do to, I don't care if coach with me a running back, tight end, whatever, I'm gonna do it. So that's one of those guys I want to give kudos to.
It's amazing. It's amazing to hear.
How important is it to you that the community shows support and school spirit?
Yeah,
I know I hear your band is very good
yeah, no, they
too.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had the leadership of Art Coleman for many years, and you know, uh,
Okay.
Art Coleman, who has the Stockton Unified building named after him.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Right.
you got to be pretty good. He just retired last year and
Yeah.
it recently got took over by alumni, and she's doing a great job. And with the program, they still sound good. They still sound great. They pump me up when they come out there. But the community support is awesome. Chavez has always been a school where all walks of life have gone there. Of course, we
Hmm.
have our boundaries and stuff, but you get kids from all sides of town, and they end up moving to this area, and it's just a really good culture that we're trying to build, and we do have, it's support from my administration, support from my athletic director, support from the parents, from the community, is just even neighbors that live in our area it's always great, So the
Yeah.
support is always needed because the hate runs deep sometimes. So you gotta love the support.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of support, what about your assistant coaches, stuff and the staff people that, maybe filling up waters during the practice? Like how do they make sure everything keeps running smoothly?
No, like man, they do little things too. Sometimes, my kid plays baseball. I might have to leave early to get my son from a baseball practice. I might have to leave, 20 minutes early to get my son from football practice. Or hey, can you get the locker room today? Hey, can you do this? We got team managers that I call my nieces. They do a great job of just helping their brothers out and just filling up the waters with just nothing in return. Just I want to help out my boys. I want to help
Hmm.
out my brothers. So like all those little things go a long way with an organization. I don't like to call us a team. I like to call us an organization. That's the goal. To have an organization, a family, and just keep working towards that. It's not there yet, but we're on our way there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you personally stay motivated and evolving as a coach? Right? There's always things, that great coaches see, okay, I can do this better.
Mm.
I can do this better. How do you go day to day? What gets you up in the morning?
No,
Right?
no, most definitely, man. I'm never satisfied, really, and that's like my best worst trait. Like I'm a perfectionist, and when I do perfect something or get really good at something, I'm always looking for the next challenge.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like my own worst critic, my own worst. So when I accomplish something, it's like I feel like I'm supposed to accomplish that. So I've always been like that since I was little, super competitive and self-competitive. I try not to keep score and watch what other people are doing. Just how can I get better, man? So what keeps me motivated is these young men,
Yeah.
the ability to help them grow as young individuals from all walks of life, lower income, middle income, high income. I think sometimes people think we got to help all, the lower income kids, and everybody has their challenges, and I'm just
Right.
blessed with the opportunity just to, build and talk to these young men and meet them where they're at. So and the way I get better, man, I go to 2 or 3 coaching clinics a year and hear
That's awesome.
college coaches talk. I get on the phone with collegiate coaches or other fellow high school coaches who I respect and bounce ideas off of and try to learn as much as I can. And
Yeah.
that's a big thing for me is like having conversations, studying,
Hmm.
because I don't know it all. I
Right.
really don't. I'm really confident in what I do, but I still want to learn to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Talked
to
about the
hear.
program a little bit as an organization. What else do you want to see in the next couple of years, like long term for Chavez?
Yeah, no, I want to continue to change lives, send kids to college, send kids to, even if you don't play football, it's a university just to go to school, motivate them. If you don't have the aspirations to go to college, let's go to the armed forces. That's a great head start, young people. A
Hmm.
great head start.
Mm-hmm.
Navy, Marines, Army, something to just fast track your life instead of just sitting around.
Right.
Like I had a couple kids, I want to do this trade program. That's great.
Yeah.
Trade programs are going to be there when you're 21, 22, though. You know what I'm trying to say? So if you don't have the plans to go to college, I'm really big on, just different things and helping them grow. But what motivates me is the young people, just helping them grow as individuals. And then a few years later from now, as far as the program organization, just to get back on track, um, I want to win a section championship. I want to win a state championship.
Yeah.
I want Chavez. I know it could be. I know Chavez could be Grant of Stockton, Pittsburgh High of Stockton, Folsom of Stockton. I haven't seen a public school do that in our city, and I know we're the people to do it. I know I have the staff to do it. I have the vision to do it. I have the ability to do it, and we just got to keep on speaking into existence. So I know we could do it, man. And the buy-in, the support is there from the community, from the kids.
Yeah.
Buy-in. It's
Yep.
just small layer after layer. We just got to keep peeling back those layers,
Hmm.
but it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want to speak it a little too soon, but you guys do look really good this year. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say. It's got a good chance this year.
Yeah. Uh, Finally, if you could give some advice to an eighth grader that's coming in to Chavez High, right? Or maybe someone that's going to transfer, to your school. What advice would you give them? What does it take to play for Coach Graves? What are you looking for in a kid?
I'm just looking for somebody who's hardworking, dedicated, and always willing to improve. That takes accountability and always willing to learn and being a good person who's coachable, and a good human being. And everybody's not gonna come in like that. We don't know their circumstances before you got here, but you got to be willing to listen. And I
Yeah.
think that's for any school you go to, buying into whatever the coaches say and believing in, not just Chavez, but if you could just listen to people who've been there before and who've done it.
Yeah.
Let's just say it was a school called Stockton High, right? And Stockton High had a coach, and let's just say he was an okay coach, and he just had 5 plays, just 5 offensive plays, and on
Yeah.
defense they just ran cover 4 the whole time. Instead of complaining and doing whatever, we just say, hey, we're gonna listen to what coach says and run these 5 plays and just do our 111 and be perfect at it and buy in. He said, lift weights hard, do that, and just be good people and just run master that cover 4. If you just buy into what the coaches say, whatever is good, bad, wing T spread, it doesn't matter. If you buy into a vision wherever you go, it could be great.
Yeah.
So buy into
Man.
the vision and just have a commitment to excellence. No Raider punches. Have a commit, be committed to excellence and just trying to get better, man. I think that'll help. For us, that's what I'm expecting. Just work hard in the weight room,
Yeah.
work hard in the classroom, be good people, and yes, coach, no coach. That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
All right, so now we're going to move into our last section of this. It's going to be rapid fire. Me and Alvin are just going to switch off. You can give us anywhere from a word to a sentence, as fast as possible.
Okay.
And then that should do it. So I'll get us started. And what is your favorite sport to watch outside of work?
Basketball. Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh
Okay.
man. Oh,
Third
and
generation Lakers.
is there a big announcement coming tomorrow?
Big announcement tomorrow.
I don't know. I'm hearing he's gonna retire. I'm hearing it's gonna be a Amazon deal. I don't know what's going on, man. Well, we got Lucas, so I'm good, man. I got to see
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys got
That's
Luca.
true
You're
too.
you're set. You're set.
All right. Favorite sport to play?
golf.
Okay.
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 Go to pump up song before a game.
I'm more of a Beethoven kind of guy, man. I like,
Okay.
Beethoven, a little Sade. I like to be mellow
Oh,
before a game,
Sade.
Okay.
I like to be calm before the storm and before I go into
Hmm.
battle. But if I
You
had to
li-
pick a pump up song, where I'm just like trying to get turned up, third world, little blood, a hyphy song, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Sade's, it was Love Deluxe, right? That was her.
Come on,
The
man.
it was a damn. There you go.
This is
I want
my
I want to be in that locker room
home.
before a game. That's what I know.
Oh,
I want
ask
to be
my
in that
player. Hey,
locker
look,
room.
ask my players. Like, I let them kind of play the young boy this year and stuff like that
Uh-huh.
before the game. I'm gonna throw on some Beethoven. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
to have some serenity before we're going to war.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Coffee or energy drink on game days?
Hey, black coffee, no cream, no sugar.
There
Okay.
you go. All right.
All
All
right.
right.
Are you a Friday Night Lights or a Friday Night Hoops?
Friday night by far.
All right. All right. Biggest rival school.
It's two, for different reasons. It's not gonna be a quick answer, but it's McNair and Stagg, and the
Okay.
reasons are I'm a part of both of them. But I was
Mm-hmm.
the first graduating class from Chavez. McNair and Chavez were built the same years. Our
Yep.
first class were '08, so that was a rival game originally. How the schools kind of matched it out, but I think by kind of just sharing a district, I think McNair and Bear Creek kind of came a rivalry because they took a lot of those Bear Creek kids and
Oh yeah.
they'll be over
Yeah, yeah,
here
yeah.
across the street. You
Mm-hmm.
might go to Bear Creek, and over here you go to McNair. Same thing that kind of happened with Stagg. My first 2 years, I went to Stagg High School, and then once they opened up Chavez, we had to go over there. But I kind of stayed at Stagg because I was a sophomore on varsity, and so once I left, it was kind of like made a real rivalry and a thing. Like you go, blah blah blah. And, so it's a lot of Stag history there, man. Like I said, Coach Norton's first win. I helped him accomplish that versus Tracy High. Caught a touchdown that game. Being moved up from
Mm,
varsity.
Yeah.
So it's
it's
some history
amazing.
there that we could well, but I would say more so Stag than anything.
Okay.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
we can't wait till October 30th.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
can. That
hey, look,
is.
you and everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I'm making sure I'm watching that game for
Is
sure.
that at Stag or is that at your guys' house?
It's at our house. It's
Okay.
Okay.
it's on
Okay.
2929 Windflower,
Okay.
North Stockton, right off the 99. You can see the lights.
Okay.
Trust me, everybody in town's talking about it. It's really exciting for the city.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, it is.
my hope is that they win out league. I mean, to make it what is being made out to be. And they're doing
Yes.
really
Yes.
good. Coach Crocker is doing a great job with the program. So kudos to them and what they're doing over there. I'm looking forward to it myself.
Collision
Absolutely.
course. All right.
What's pregame superstition or ritual that you've seen or have?
That I have, man, since my sophomore year in high school on game days, I don't brush my teeth.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't brush my teeth. I'm ready for war.
you did it. No, you
Black
know what?
coffee. That's it. Let it go.
Yeah, black coffee, let it go. I
Black
like it.
coffee, throw some gum in there.
Uh-huh.
My teeth, man. Look, hey, I'm ready for war. Like I try
Uh-huh.
to
All
really
right.
tap into my mental before a game. Like I'm not just coaching just to coach. I got to lead young men to victory. So I take it real personal. So when you're going against me and my team and my staff, just know it's a lot of film, it's a lot of war, and it's a lot of hours behind us. My kids watch film too. We lift hard during the week, so it's a different kind of animal people are going against. And I'm not saying that we got it all figured out, but just for sure we're gonna give you our best
I
shot
love
regardless.
it.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I love it. All right. Favorite athlete of all time.
ooh, man, it's a good one. Um, got a couple. I would say Jerry Rice, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather.
You broke the streak. We had the two other guys before you both picked Michael Jordan. When it
Yes.
was Richie and Adam Lincoln.
Yeah,
But
Kobe.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Michael
you're a
Jordan.
Lakers guy, so you're
Yeah, you
jealous.
got Kobe,
You gotta
yeah.
love the Kobe.
Kobe
Michael Jordan. I'm
Braun.
not gonna lie. Michael Jordan, obviously, it was just aura. Like
Right.
I
Yeah.
do think he is. You know, just the best basketball player, but not the best overall basketball player. But
Okay.
I'm a fan of
Yep.
Michael Jordan. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, some days on game days, like you said, like another ritual I do. My bad, not to skip over or go
No,
back.
no, it's all
Another
good.
ritual I do, throughout the whole week, I watch Gladiator and Troy.
Okay.
Oh,
Like I'm Achilles right now. I mean, this
Yeah.
year I'm Achilles. Last
okay.
year I was Achilles and Leonidas from 300. So
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
really get in some tap into some other spaces. I try to at least. But
Nice.
ritual is watching Troy before the day before the game or Gladiator.
Okay.
And then but yeah, like you said, Michael Jordan was. I watched The Last Dance too. So that's how I got back to that.
Yeah.
I
Last
tried
Dance
to
was
Yeah.
think of
good.
The Last Dance because they had some really good points there with
Mm-hmm.
Dennis
Yeah.
Rodman and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's awesome. I love Michael Jordan, but he's just not one of my favorites.
Gotcha.
All
Gotcha. All
good.
right.
Get that. If you weren't a high school coach, what would you be doing?
Oh man, sheesh. Something with helping people. I don't know, maybe a high school counselor, maybe a cop, maybe a fireman, maybe a community activist, maybe a preacher. I could see myself
Mm-hmm.
being a preacher. A
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
whole bunch of different things, man. So something that I think that it does with serving. I know I'm here to serve, and I'm just putting that together, whatever it looks like, and being led through God.
All right. One word you think your players would use to describe you?
Ooh, depending on what player you ask. Um, sheesh. Hopefully passionate. I don't know. I'm
Okay.
assuming. I think they would say passionate.
Yeah.
I think every kid has a different perception of me. Eugene said it the other day, or a couple weeks ago. He said, "Coach Graves, you're a crash out." I said, "What? I'm a crash out." I was like, "Oh, please tell me," because I like to hear the information. I'm not one of those
Uh-huh.
kids. Kids say something
Yeah.
to me. I'm not like one of those coaches that take things personal. I want to grow from everybody in every moment. I said,
Right.
"What do you mean to crash out?" He was like, "Well, you crash out for good reasons, coach. When people just, repeatedly do something over and over again and they keep getting in trouble, and then you just kind of, I said, so like, is that a good thing?" He's like, "It's always justified. So you're not a bad crash out." So
Yeah.
Eugene called me a crash out, and I got my
Yeah.
another kid might call me Unc. Another kid might call me passionate. Another kid might call me, I don't know, just
Uh-huh.
love. Yeah, I think everybody has
Yeah.
a different version or have a different perception of me. So, I might ask them that before this interview drops.
All
Uh,
right.
what's what's a favorite post-game snack or meal that you're hitting up every time?
Man, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to In-N-Out Burger.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
number one, no onions.
Mm-hmm.
Look, no onions, no tomatoes. Recently, no lettuce. Get the burger well
Okay.
done. Fries, Neapolitan shake with 4 packs of spread on the side.
Ooh.
Okay.
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 All
I
right.
like
All
that.
right.
I
And I
like
never
that.
eat the fourth one. I'm ordering
Okay.
4. I'm gonna use 3.
Uh-huh.
I'm never eating the fourth
Uh-huh.
one now. My
Okay.
wife
Yeah.
is like, "Stop ordering 4. You don't use it." Trust me, I got it.
You never know. You never know.
We used to
Never
throw it in our
know.
refrigerator when we'd have extra ones to use it on burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Last question. What sport would surprise people that you enjoy?
I mean, I don't know if it was a surprise. Well, yeah, I guess it was basketball. Like,
Okay.
I like watching basketball more than football. Well,
Right.
I like watching Lakers basketball more than
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
Okay.
get that.
Lakers
Yep.
basketball.
I got
So,
you there.
I could watch the Lakers all day. If you said, "Hey, you can watch uh, 82 games of the Lakers or 72 games of the 49ers," I'm gonna watch the Lakers nine
Yeah.
times out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of sucks because you know, yeah, quick cuts in YouTube. It gave us the ability just to watch the play by play, so
Yeah.
I really don't have to watch I don't like watching the whole game on Sundays anymore. I'm like, I can just watch the whole game in 20 minutes and get everything out,
Yeah.
Right.
notes
Yep.
and
Get everything you need.
something
Yep.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it.
So
Well, thank you so much. That's all we have. We're again really appreciative that you
we
had the
appreciate you,
time.
Coach.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
being
I
on.
appreciate
This
you guys
was
having me,
amazing.
man. You guys are doing a great thing for the 209, and my only goal for you guys and hope for you guys and wish for you guys is you stay consistent with this because you guys got something building, and you
Yep.
guys are gonna have haters, you're gonna have
Yeah.
naysayers. Even me, I had to
Yep.
DM y'all like, what are y'all basing these rankings off of?
We do.
Like,
Yep.
what
Yeah.
are you
we,
doing? Like,
we,
but you got people's attention at the end of the day.
yes.
You got
Yep.
Thank
people
you.
talking about it. And
Yep.
I'm a guy who grew up on SJTV. Drew, you might be too young for that.
I am. Yeah.
Alvin, I don't know if you remember, we had SJTV on
Yes.
Comcast Channel 26, and it was amazing for us to grow up in any kind of media outlet that really puts a light on sports in our city and young men in our city
Yeah.
is always going to be good, man. So, it might feel like too much for you guys sometimes because you might have a ranking where Chavez is ahead of a certain school and the whole world's going to go against you guys. But just, hey, man, know you guys are doing this for your reasons. Continue to grow your
Yep.
platform. You guys are doing a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a school, out of the VOL. I had about 10 messages on my thing. How could you put those guys number one? They haven't played anyone. And I'm like,
Oh, talking about us?
no,
No. No. No.
it was a
East
different
Uh.
school.
Union. That's on
Yeah,
East Union.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
Manteca.
Yes. Yeah.
And
East Union and Manteca. Those
they get,
two.
I mean, they,
Yep.
they were,
Trust me,
and I was
man. We
like,
got look. I
beat
got
them.
secondhand. I got secondhand phone from you guys. How is Chavez number 2 there? I'm like, hey, look, man. At the end of the day, we handle what we supposed to handle, man. And
Yeah,
I
Yep.
into my head, and I'm a realist. At the end of the day, I for sure, in my opinion, since I think right now we got still more to prove, but we're for sure, we're going from Manteca all the way down to Stockton and Lodi Tracy. We're number 3 right now. Okay, in my opinion,
Absolutely.
I think
Yeah.
St. Mary's and Manteca 1 and 2. I think Manteca's number 1 right now. St. Mary's number 3.
Yeah.
We're
Mm-hmm.
right there. I think we got the wins to prove it, and I think the other people kind of took themselves out of the conversation by getting 70 points put on them and losing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Edison losing to a Franklin and Elk Grove, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so I'm gonna confidently say we're number 3 right now, and then in the playoffs we could put that to the test if we have the opportunity to play against the Manteca or St. Mary's.
Yeah, and that's the
I
thing
had
that I'm really excited to see what the playoff schedule looks like because all of the teams that we cover, it looks like they're all going to be about in the same playoff rankings. Like see all of them go head to head, it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
I had a friend, his name's shout outs Chris Dunn, but we were talking about the rankings and he's played at the next level and he's like, at the end of the day, the playoffs will take care of the rankings themselves.
Mm-hmm.
He's
this is what
like
I'm saying.
he's
Like
like it'll sort it all out.
I seen where you look. I seen and we were out the rankings, but I think you guys were like power rankings, like who has the most momentum, etc.
Yeah.
So I try not to look too deep into that. Even like
No, I wouldn't.
hey, like
That
some of
no,
the
yeah.
media platforms reach out to me and saying, "Hey, what player do you want to nominate?" I'm like, "I'm gonna send it, but I don't like vote things.
Right.
Just pick a player, because at the end of the day, I think that each media should pick the player that they want to do it. But I
Right.
understand the voting, but
Gotcha.
make that like be a percentage of the vote or
Gotcha.
something,
Okay.
because like at the end of the day,
Okay.
like I don't want to beg for my player to be player of the week or month.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I
I
want to run.
completely
I love all media platforms. I respect what you guys do, and I want you guys. My goal, my hope for you guys is to stay consistent throughout this process because I
yep.
love
Okay.
what you guys are doing.
Thank
Yeah,
you
and
so much.
that's our goal. And we know when I have the chance to come back to, actually be in Stockton and hopefully do these videos in person and everything like that, like that's our goal. We want to get as much media out as possible. We want these kids to be seen.
Yeah, you have the good work, man. I'm really proud of what you guys are doing and continue
Appreciate
to
you.
inspire. I love it.
All
Of
right.
course. All right. Well, thank you so much again, Coach Graves. Good luck to the rest of the season. We hope to have you back on, either at the end of this year or, when next year rolls around. We hope to have you back.
Man, well, let me know when you want to have me. I love what you guys are doing, and I look forward to talking to you guys again.
All
Of
right.
course. All
Thank
right.
you,
Thank you very
Coach.
much.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Hope you guys really did enjoy that one. That was really fun. We're for me and Alvin to film. Obviously, K Mud wasn't there, but we're gonna try and get him in there eventually.
Practice, practice, practice.
And that's all it
Yeah.
is. We really hope you guys enjoyed this one. And again, we're thankful for Coach Graves to being
Thank you,
on.
Coach.
Yep. Thank
And
you.
so with that, we say thank you for watching. Make sure you share this. Share this, everybody give us your feedback. And if you're, athlete, AD, coach, you want to be on, contact us. Everything in the link description down below. With that, we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Yeah.